What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Let's Talk Tottenham. And today we're going to be looking at the news, and we're going to start with some good news that's come out of the Minneapolis Spurs supporter club, and then take a look at what Alistair Gold had to say about the 11v11 training event. And then we're going to end by talking about Spurs qualification for some government funding. So get ready, jump into the comments, and join in on the conversation. And let's talk Tottenham. So I'm excited to start out with a little bit of good news. This came out on Friday, June 5th. The Minnesota Spurs Supporters Club tweeted that they had loaded an entire rental truck full of food and supplies for a local food shelf and raised $1,882 for what looks like the Martin Luther King Multi-Service Center. This is the kind of thing you love to see from Spurs fans, and I think it just speaks to the hearts that all of us Spurs supporters have for humanity. And yeah, this is evidence not just there, but you could also see this throughout quarantine at different times. This is just one thing to highlight. I know it was in the news previously, but Jose had made a delivery of food, delivering fresh produce from the kitchen garden at the training center to the food distribution hub that was at the stadium. And then we also saw Harry Kane sponsoring the League Two side Leyton Orient, their kits for 2020 and 2021, with 10% of all of the kit sales proceeds going to a couple different charities, Haven's House, Children's Hospice, and Mind, an organization providing advice and support for those with mental health problems. And so I'm going to put some links in the description down below if you'd like to check those out or support them in any way. And also just to celebrate some of the good things that have been happening in such a dark time. By the way, if you're a Tottenham fan, you know that we keep it audaire est faire, but on the YouTube platform, we gotta keep it audaire est amare, my friends. To dare is to like. So please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and even hit the notification bell so that you can know as soon as the videos come out. The amount of Spurs fans that I've seen blowing up Twitter as they stand up against racism and bigotry has been inspiring. And I hope that it continues on as we hope to see lasting change and not just something that changes for a little bit of time, and then maybe when guilt or things in the news subside, that everything goes back to the way it was. Yeah, I hope that things continue on and that we'll start to see, as we say in the States, liberty and justice for all. Continuing on with some good news, Spurs released their upcoming fixtures. They'll be playing Man United on June 19th, playing West Ham on June 23rd, and Sheffield United on July 2nd. So looking forward to those fixtures and seeing what this new Premier League looks like. And certainly excited for a Friday night game for Spurs against Manchester United, fully fit squad, and hopefully a great showing against a team that really we need to get to these points. We need all 9 of these points if we want to be looking for Champions League, certainly. And playing Man U, playing Sheffield United will give us an opportunity to push for one of those top 4, maybe even top 5 spots if Manchester City loses out on their spot in the Champions League. Now, the main news that I wanted to look at today came out from Alistair Gold from Football London. Talked about how Mourinho lined up his teams in training and who was missing, what does it mean, and it's a really great read. I will leave a link below as well that you can read this for yourself. He has some really interesting observations about the players, how they suited up on the pitch side instead of in the changing rooms, and we're observing social distancing. Also even notes how some of the youngsters got involved in the game. But I think the most interesting thing to me was both of the lineups were able to fluctuate between a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3, and he said that it gave Kane and Bergwijn some time to play together. Serge and Sessegnon faced off against one another, and Winks and Skip ended up being a pair. And just seeing how those things played out was exciting to him, and it's good news, I think, for us as Spurs fans. Many on Twitter pointed out that Tanguy Ndombele looks a lot leaner and ready to play, that Jose Mourinho was happy with his fitness, and he was featured in the video as scoring a goal, which is always great. And the other goal that was shared on the video from Spurs, which there will be a link in the description as well for that, was Dele scoring from a header from Serge Aurier, but really it was a defensive breakdown from Marsh that led to the goal. Apparently, there were many goals scored, and it wasn't a draw, because even though the video showed it being 1-1, Sissoko posted on Instagram that it was nice to be back in the stadium and asking Serge Aurier if he won. And Serge later commented that he had 2 assists, so there must have been many goals. I imagine it was pretty eerie to play in an empty stadium. Not because they hadn't played in the empty stadium before or anything like that, but knowing what it means going forward, knowing that this will be the feeling, this will be the sense around the stadium as they're playing the beautiful game. Toby made a tweet this week saying, "Getting used to the new normal. It won't be the same without you guys, but can't wait for the Premier League to get going again." And seeing him in the kit with all those empty seats behind him is definitely going to take some time getting used to. Hugo mentioned in his interview that he knows the fans will be behind them, that they'll be cheering them on, even though it will be from home. For us in the States, this won't feel too different, although the atmosphere will certainly be different to listen to it without fans, or even if they're pumping in. I heard from Alistair Gold that they might even be using FIFA sound effects, like how FIFA uses their sound effects in the game. I'd be interested to know if anyone has any links to that where I could read up on that myself. I'd be really interested, so please share that in the comments below. Although they will know that we're with them in spirit, I wonder what it will really be like. Will it really feel like a friendly? Will it have the intensity, especially when you think of like the North London Derby? Will it be the same out on the field without the yelling and screaming and singing and shouting of the Tottenham faithful? I think the end of the video that Spurs put out really puts it in perspective. When you see how huge that wall is and how small those players are on the field, it's sad to have built such a beautiful stadium and not be able to fill it so soon after. And thinking of all the concerts and boxing matches and football games, NFL football games that were supposed to be played and aren't going to be played there, it's certainly a disappointment. And we hope that Spurs can continue to financially take care of the organization and the people that work for them and all of that stuff. And that leads us to our final bit of news. The club confirmed it was eligible for the COVID Corporate Financing Facility, the CCFF, government financing. In this article from The Athletic by David Ornstein and Jack Pitt-Brooke, they were estimated to lose more than $200 million of revenue from the period of the start of the lockdown until June of 2021. And so this borrowing of $175 million is meant to help cover those costs. And Daniel Levy has made it abundantly clear that this is not going to be for buying players. It's not going to be for transfers. I think this is in line and in step with the club. The club has always been about being financially viable, and not just viable, but certainly healthy. And to be honest, as hard as it is sometimes to see a club like Chelsea just go out and buy whoever they want, or Man United or Man City or Liverpool or whoever else, I think this is the way that we do it, and I think it's the best way to do it, right? This makes our club not dependent on the owner. It's self-sustaining in a way that allows it to continue to grow and develop without relying on just one person's finances or a group's finances. In the midst of all that, though, Dan Kilpatrick noted something that was at the end of the article, but Kilpatrick leads that to a question of the Premier League going towards maybe a spectator immunity passport or something similar. But an immunity passport feels strong to me. From what I understand about COVID, they don't see this as being like an immunity that will last forever. They think that it might come in seasons like the flu, and just like the flu, you can have the flu one year and have it again the next year. So I don't really know if there will ever be a time where we'll feel comfortable saying like, I've already had COVID, I'm never going to get it again. So we'll have to wait and see what this looks like. But obviously, Daniel Levy and the club want to see fans back in the stadium because that's what they built this stadium for. They wanted to have not just a place to watch Spurs games, although that is certainly the primary importance, but a community event driver where people would come and watch concerts and the NFL and many other things. And so losing that ability is so unsettling, especially after you've just built it, you've got these loans to pay off, etc. So like I said, I can't imagine it being an immunity passport, but I could see some sort of testing for fevers and things at the gates, just like you would check for anything else. And then whenever people get there, it would just be a very socially distant viewing experience where you might still get 1/6 of the fans or something like that, but at least someone would be there singing for the club. So that's what's going on in the news today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think the immunity passports are going to be a thing? What did you think of the video that was released? Eric Lamela showed a goal on his Instagram that was kind of cool. Are you looking forward to the upcoming matches? And have you been able to participate in showing support for the Black community and for those that are suffering injustices? If you and other Spurs supporters have been able to do that, please let me know. I'd love to be encouraged by that and share that encouragement with others. Thanks so much for watching, and as ever, it was great talking with you.